Nick has a question up next. He says, I'm paying off debt and I have $9,000 in student loans and $15,000 on a car loan with similar interest rates. Which debt do I pay off first? And he says he's on Ramsey Baby Step 2, so he knows about Ramsey's paying off debt strategy, which is great. I struggle with not getting the 401k match, though. So he thinks he prefers the financial order of operations, which is fair. Like, he sees that there's an opportunity there. So which debt should he pay off first? How should he think about this along with getting that 401k match and all those choices that are factoring in here?
All right, so $9,000 in student loan debt, $15,000 in a car loan.
Similar interest rates.
All right, so this is where Dave, good buddy, love him, but this is where we differentiate a little bit. We love employer match. We think that employer matching money is just like...
It's free money.
It is free money. It is that like special sauce that you cannot walk away from. It's why, we hold the thing up, it's why we make it step 2 of the financial order of operation. It is so good. There you go, look at that.
I did a little sound effect in there for Brian.
It is so good that we think you cannot walk away from it. Even, and like earmuffs for all my Ramsey folks out there, even if you have high interest debt, because as high interest as your debt may be, it's probably not going to be 50%, 100% levels. And that's what employer matching is. If you get a dollar for dollar match, that's 100% rate of return on the dollars you're putting in there. So you cannot walk away from that, in my opinion. So even if you have the $9,000 in student loan debt and you have the $15,000 in car loans, I still think the employer match should be something you should do. Well, then when you get to step 3, that's where high interest debt comes in, and you have to define for yourself what is high interest debt. Now, Nick, he did not tell us what the rates were on the student loan or car loan.
I mean, student loan and car loan, though. Yeah.
So, and if they're about the same, right? So one, you have to define, is it high interest or is it not high interest? And I'm going to argue, for sake of this conversation, let's assume that it is high interest debt. So we're trying to figure out which one we prioritize and how we do that. Well, when it comes to paying off debt, there are generally 2 methods you can go with. You can go with the debt snowball, which is where I take my lowest dollar value debt and I pay that off first. Because the idea is I want to get some momentum building for getting out of debt. So in this case, that would be the $9,000 student loan. It's the lowest dollar value. The second method is the debt avalanche. What you do is you take all of your debts and you order them by your highest interest rate to your lowest interest rate. And what you want to do is you want to save yourself the maximum amount of interest. And so you're thinking about the marginal cost of every next dollar. So you would pay off the highest interest rate first, and then you would go down and go down and go down. Those are the 2 common methods. In this situation where Nick is, I have $9,000 of student loan debt, $15,000 of car loan. I'm going to tell you how I would think about it. This is the Bo Hansen personal preference. So when you're writing notes, write this one in pencil, because this is not like something that has to be set in stone. I think about a car loan. The thing that troubles me about car loans is that they're depreciable assets.
Yeah.
Like, we know that in the first 3 or 4 years of a new car, it loses something like 40% of its value just through depreciation alone. So I have this loan there, and yet this asset that backs the loan is going down and down and down and down and down and down. And realistically, at some point throughout my life, I'm probably gonna have to replace that car. So what I wanna do is I wanna minimize the amount of time that I have car payments. Because if it's inevitable that I'm gonna have car payments for some season in my life, I want that to be as small of a season, as limited of a window as possible. I'm probably not going out and getting more student loans. That's probably not going to be something that replenishes and recurs and does it over and over again. So the fact that the student loan doesn't technically depreciate, I know it's a little weird because an education is an asset that doesn't have the same kind of value like a car would. I think that I would prioritize, after I've gotten my employer match, after I've defined what high interest debt is, after I've assessed where I am in the financial order of operations, I think I begin prioritizing the car loan before the student loan, assuming the interest rates are the same. Now, if they're about the same, then I do a spreadsheet. Because if it's like a 0.5% difference in it, okay, well now I want to figure out how much interest is it actually costing me. Do I want to go avalanche? Do I want to go snowball? How would I think through those?